know, what we are all about here, where hope happens, is life-changing stories. And we love to share those stories with you because it is so evident to see Christ's hand in our lives when we say, golly, this is a life that went from A to B, and why did it do that? It's because of somebody's faith journey. And so I am privileged today and honored to introduce you to a young man and his mother who have been impacted by the YMCA. They're all about health and fitness, living that healthier lifestyle. Welcome home, Yanira Aleman.
Thank you.
And your very handsome son, Enrique.
Thank you.
Now, Enrique, if I were to have you stand up for everybody, everybody would say, wow, he must be 18 years old. He's a big guy. You are how old?
I'm 14 years old now.
14 years old. And did you say ma'am? Thank you. What have you done to this boy to make him so polite?
Oh, my goodness.
Good job, Enrique. Tell us where you go to school.
I go to Discovery Middle School.
Discovery Middle School, 14 years old, and you started going to J. Blanchard YMCA. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, why did you start going?
I started going because I reached 290 pounds, and I did not want to go over that to 300 pounds or more. So I started going to the YMCA with my family and started exercising and pushing myself to go harder and harder to exercise and just lose weight, and that I reached that goal, and I continue to do so.
And so how much have you lost so far?
About 20 pounds, from 290 pounds down to almost 260.
Congratulations. Now, I want you to continue to do this. You're going to get some coaches in high school that say, oh, no, let's beef him up. Let's make him really big and he can be a linebacker. But no. Do you want him to play football?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If he were my boy, I'd say, no. Protect your head, protect those knees. But you're going to be a great athlete no matter what you do. But you told me earlier, and Yanira, you really were telling me that your faith has played a big role in wanting to get healthy, right?
Absolutely. Part of that story that he didn't mention is that he ended up in a wheelchair because he's overweight. He got injured his back in pretty bad shape. And after that, everything was like a mess up inside the family. So that's when we met my YMCA coach, Paige Sider, inside a very proactive team, and that was the real fact that changed everything inside our life.
Yeah.
And it played a very important role inside the healing process. And in that specific point, when I was looking for God answers, that's when exactly, and in that exact point was the time that I found my great YMCA team.
Wonderful. Now, you talk about healing. There was something wrong with your back. You had an injury, and the extra weight was putting pressure on your back. Is that what it was? And so when you lose your 20 pounds and you're continuing to lose weight, are you feeling better and better all the time,
Yes.
Enrique?
Yes, I feel
So
that.
your goal is to get to 200? Is that what you said?
To lose more weight than I have right now.
Okay, so at some point you care about being at a certain weight, but you also care about having a strong physical and spiritual, emotional mind as well. Is the YMCA helping you with this whole package, or are they just about, let's just get your physical body in shape, or are they trying to work on your spiritual body as well?
Yes, they are.
How do they work on your spiritual body? What do they tell you? What are some of the things they say to help Enrique become a spiritual being?
They encourage me to exercise and to do what I want to do, and so I take that and I follow my goal and I keep going nonstop.
Good. Has anybody ever told you that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit? You know, I think that's just such a cool picture that Christ resides in us. And if he's residing in us, which he is, then that's the reason why we need to take care of our bodies. Not just so that we can be physically stronger and play sports and feel good and do all of that. The reason is because we need to take care of that spiritual part of our being. And Yanira, you mentioned that that's an important part. You're at the Y too. You're working out.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Actually, my family get together, and my family used to to, we used to go together to the YMCA, and we started to become more close as a family.
Good.
Thanks to the program and thanks to the instruction that we were following. And that was the important part, because I brought the learning lessons inside the home, and that's when he started to improve. And basically that's what took him away from the bed. So it was a process that definitely restored my faith in humanity.
Good,
Definitely.
good. And you mentioned too earlier, Enrique, about the fact that you were starting to learn about calories and about not just exercising, but how many calories to put in your body. Did that, Yanira, affect the way that you started preparing meals at home?
Absolutely. It changed everything in a positive way. It's not just about the scale and how much you weigh. It's about to encourage you and teach you how to stay living healthy, in a healthy eating way, and how to just put that together with your regular life basis in order to stick to the plan.
Yeah. Well, tell me some of the differences in maybe what you used to eat versus what you eat now.
I was a fast food eater 24/7, and I was taking my kids down to the same way, to the same practice, which is definitely not a healthy thing. And right now we just jump and switch to vegetable, fruits, everything, pretty much everything is prepared home. And if we are going, for example, a road trip, we take our own food, and we just definitely try to stay away from.
Well, and Enrique, you probably wouldn't have done that if you hadn't had that injury. You would have continued to just maybe not eat healthy and just to eat any old thing. So what's it like, though, to be a 14-year-old boy and you're at school and everybody else has a bag of potato chips and they have things that are starchy and maybe not good for you, and you're eating your fruits and vegetables? Do you ever get any kickback or pushback from your friends at school?
No, not really.
And do you eat differently than they eat at school? Or do you even notice that?
I don't notice.
Not really? Okay, so the importance is taking care of what we're eating at home, how you're exercising. Is there any other component of this health? See, what I love about the Y, Yanira and Enrique, is that they're holistic. They're looking at the whole person, body, mind, spirit. They're not just looking at our bodies. They're trying to tend to everything. So how do you feel like they've been ministering to your spirits?
That was the first thing that I felt once I met the YMCA. My spirit was restored immediately. By the time I became a team to work with the same interests in common with my coach. That was the first side. Good. Actually, I started to go to the YMCA program without him while he was in bed. And they allowed me to do that in order to help him. So that was definitely what restored my faith in humanity. I mean, going through this process is like an emotional roller coaster, and you get hurt. But absolutely, before and after, I can definitely say that God was there. God was the one who put me there, who used good people as angels to change my son's life.
And to save his life, really.
And to save his life.
Had you kept going down that path, you would have had other injuries, and who knows what would have happened with high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, all of the things that I know. Pardon me?
Heart conditions, too.
Heart conditions, absolutely. And the Y is so good about educating everybody and about making sure that we live. And here's the deal. You don't know this yet because you're so young, and you too, Yanira, but I remember my mother used to tell me, you are going to want to be healthy when you are 80 and 90 years old. It's not just when you're young that you want to do it and be healthy just so that you can have fun and be active. I want to be fun, and I want to be active, and I want to feel good at my age and in the decades to come, so that there are a couple of reasons, so that I can be there for my children and my grandchildren, and also so that I can serve Christ. Because I want to continue to serve and to live well, but you can't do that if you don't feel good and if you're not living a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to give you one more opportunity because we're out of time, but a lot of times people will leave the show and they're like, oh, I wish I'd said this and I didn't have a chance to say that, or I wanted to thank this person, or I wanted to mention this. Is there anything else that you want to say or mention before we go on to our next story? You, Enrique?
Yes, actually, it's not technically about fitness or anything. It's about the herniated disc. I told my friends that I was out for 6 months laying in a bed, learning from a computer calling a teacher while they thought that I was laying in a bed playing video games, having the funnest time of my life. And it was like, you do not know what I went through for 6 months. It's not so easy to have to go 6 months without standing and doing football or trying to do what I want to do, but when I can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to believe that people think you were doing something you wanted to.
Right. Who would want to be in bed for 6 months, right? Who would want to do that? But look what it's done. It's given you a new perspective, right? Don't you appreciate your healthy, strong body now more than you ever did before?
Yes, I do.
Good. Well, praise God for your life and for what you're going to be doing, Enrique, in years to come, and helping your children one day to understand how important it is to have a healthy, strong body, mind, and spirit. Anything from you, Yanira, before we close?
Absolutely. I would like to give a big thanks to Paige Sider, which was the angel used by God to make a complete healing in my son. I mean, the credit is for God, but definitely I need to mention her, because she was the clue, she was the key that restore, as I told you before, my faith, and for sure make this possible. She take me from step A till step Z in order to make this process possible. And there were a lot of bumps in the road, but at the end of the day, with God's help, everything was possible. And right now I have a healthy son back thanks to YMCA.
That's right. Thank you so much, Enrique and Yanira Aleman, for your testimonies, for your courage in coming and talking to us today and encouraging all of our viewers. So we've got more. I'm so grateful to God for the YMCA and for this incredible story today. Stay with us. We have more coming up here on Welcome Home.